multi-step unit conversions. So part of the reason I taught you the procedure that I did teach you was for something like this. Okay? If we have to do more than one step, knowing how to set up each step will help you. So let's just quickly review the procedure we talked about yesterday. If I had something like convert 72 inches into feet, I would start off by writing 72 inches over 1. Then I would multiply by a unit multiplier. So let's look over here. I know that 12 inches equals 1 foot, according to my list of conversion factors. So the two unit multipliers I can make from that are 12 inches over 1 foot, or 1 foot over 12 inches. Which one of those do I want for this problem? The first one or the second one? Yeah, second. Exactly. So if I have 1 foot over 12 inches, the reason I want that is because inches is in my numerator here, so it will cancel with the inches in the denominator here. That word inches. Alright. Now I have to look at the numbers. I know I'm going to have feet left, but how many? 72, I'm ignoring all the ones. This 12 is divided by 12 because it's in the denominator. So 72 divided by 12 is 6. So my answer is 6 feet. But let's say instead of feet, let's say they asked me to convert this to yards. Well, I could, now that I know this is 6 feet, I could just take this and put it over 1 and convert that into yards. But let's back up a second. So in your notes, what I want you to do is rewrite this problem. So I'll just do it. Convert 72 inches to yards. And you can leave this as feet, because that's what we did. So we're just changing the thing that we're converting to, right? Instead of feet, we're converting to yards. We start off with the same procedure. We put 72 inches over 1, multiply by 1 foot over 12 inches, multiply that by a second conversion factor. So we know that this gives us feet. If we want to turn those feet into yards, which conversion factor over here do we have to use? The one that has both feet and yards, right? 3 feet equals 1 yard. So we're going to choose to use this conversion factor. There are 2 unit multipliers I can make with that. 3 feet over 1 yard, or 1 yard over 3 feet. Which of those 2 do I want to use here? Yeah. Number 2. 1 yard over 3 feet. That's because feet was up top in this fraction. Feet is now down bottom, so I'm going to cross it off. Now I have to take a look at my problem. 72 times 1 times 1, still 72. Can ignore this one. Divided by 12, and I already did that. I know it's 6. So then I have 6 divided by 3. This is what I would recommend for your homework. You just get out a calculator. You type in 72, multiply by all the numbers that are in the numerators, right? And then just say divided by 12 equals divided by 3 equals. And when you do that, you will get 2 yards. So when we have multiple steps, we set up a conversion factor that gets us from inches to feet and a second one that gets us from feet to yards. Let's do another example like this. Convert, let's convert, so I'm going to add a couple of things over here. Well, I guess I already added this one. 1,000 grams equals 1 kilogram. Let's also say 1,000 milligrams equals 1 gram. And we can just sort of remember 1,000 of any milli something equals that something. So 1,000 milliliters equals 1 liter. 1,000 milligrams equals 1 gram. 1,000 millimeters equals 1 meter. Right? And then we can also remember that 1,000 of something equals 1 kilo something. So 1,000 grams equals 1 kilogram. 1,000 kilometers equals, oops, that is not going to be true. 1,000 meters equals 1 kilometer. So that's kind of the meaning of kilo and milli. So let's say we wanted to convert 2 miles into meters. Convert 2 miles into meters. Do we see a conversion factor that has miles and meters? No. So which 2 conversion factors can we use to get from miles to something else to meters? Yeah.
So you can use 4,280 feet equals 1 mile.
Okay.
And then, so you're saying there's the 110 equals 1 meter.
So if we start with this one, we would need something that converts feet into meters.
Oh, okay, so.
Do we have that up here? I don't see it. It doesn't mean that you couldn't do that. It exists somewhere. We just don't have it here. So that was a great guess. There's another way we can start instead, though. Does anyone see another option for getting from miles to meters? That one didn't work. Yeah.
You would do 1 mile equals 1.6 kilometers, and then 1.6 or 1,000
Kilometers. Good. So this will get us from miles to kilometers. This one will get us from kilometers to meters. So that's what they asked us to do. That will work. All right. Let's start off. We have 2 miles over 1 times. I'm going to start with my first conversion factor. Which unit multiplier do I want to use? I want to use the one that cancels miles. So I put 1 mile in the denominator, and then I put 1.6 kilometers in the numerator.
How much is a yard in meters?
We can figure that out. 2 miles times 1.6 kilometers per mile. The next one that we said we needed to use is the top one. We're going to cancel kilometers, so we're going to divide by 1 kilometer and multiply by 1,000 meters. Let's just check to make sure this will actually work. I have miles up top here, which will cancel with miles down bottom, right there. I have kilometers up top here, which will cancel with kilometers down bottom, over here. 2 times 1.6 times 1,000, and all of my denominators are 1, so I don't have to divide by anything. If you have a calculator, go ahead and type in 2 times 1.6 times 1,000. I think you should get 3,200. Meters. And that's our final answer. It's in meters. It makes sense. That's a lot of meters, and 2 miles is a long way, right? Meter is approximately 3 feet. It's not exactly 3 feet. Using our conversion factors over here, we could figure out exactly how many feet are in 1 meter. Let's do it. So if I said convert 1 meter to feet, I would start with 1 meter over 1. Does anyone see a series of conversion factors that would get me to feet? I think it's going to take 3. 3 different conversion factors. So we have to go from meters to something else to feet. Yeah. Uh-huh. Perfect. Let's do it. So we have 1 meter is 100 centimeters. So I'm going to multiply times 100 centimeters over 1 meter. Then we know that 2.54 centimeters is 1 inch. So I'm going to put my centimeters in my denominator so they cancel, and my inches up top. Now I know the last conversion factor here. I want to get feet, and I know there are 12 inches in 1 foot. So the inches will cancel. I am going to convert meters to feet by using these 3 steps. Okay. The nice thing about the way we set it up is now I can just go get my calculator and do 1 times 100. These are all 1s, so that's going to give me 100. And then I'm going to divide by 2.54 and then divide that by 12. Did anyone do that?
I got 3.280898.
Feet. So, is a meter 3 feet? It's kind of close, right? It's actually closer to 3.3 feet, we might say. But there's not an exact conversion. And just so you guys know, a lot of these conversion factors up here are rounded. There's not exactly 2.54 centimeters in an inch, I don't think. I believe that the decimal keeps going, right? There's not exactly 1.6 kilometers in 1 mile. I've just rounded these to make them a little bit easier to work. Have questions about this? The tricky part is figuring out which steps you're going to take, right? How am I going to get from meters to feet? You have to look at all of your conversion factors and figure out meters convert to centimeters. Okay? Centimeters to inches, inches to feet. Got it. What if I said, look at these up here. Can you convert pounds into milligrams? Which conversion factors would you use? How many steps would it take you? Convert pounds to milligrams. Which of those conversion factors would we need? There's only one that actually has pounds, so we know we have to start with that. Yeah? Pounds to kilograms, right? Kilograms to grams, grams to milligrams. So we would have 4 fractions. The one we started with, and then we'd have pounds to kilograms, kilograms to grams, grams to milligrams. 3 different unit measurements. What if I said convert some number of seconds into days? Anyone think of conversion factors you would use? They're not all up here, but you guys know these ones. Converting seconds to days. What would we do? Yeah.
Convert seconds to minutes, and then minutes to hours, and hours to days. Well, just
Yeah.
call it hours.
Seconds to minutes, minutes to hours, hours to days. Those would be your steps. All right. Questions? Yeah. Mhm. Yeah, and I will be posting this. I now know the password to get in to post these, so I will be posting these. Sorry that yesterday's was not posted yesterday, but you'll be able to watch yesterday's and today's by this evening. Any other questions? You will have a quiz on this stuff on Thursday. So tomorrow we're going to practice review of it for the quiz, and then you'll have your quiz Thursday. Yeah?
Can we use a calculator on the quiz?
You may use a calculator on the quiz. There's another question that you probably want to ask. Yeah?
Is it open no or please?
Yeah, I will give you sort of a crib sheet, right? I'll give you these conversion factors. I'm not asking you to memorize the conversion factors.
Wait, so we have to, but we make that.
No.
No.
I'll give you the conversion factors, and then you may bring a calculator.
Can we borrow
So those are your
yours
tools.
in there or no?
If there's enough.